Hello Year 8, welcome to the first lesson of your new unit, which is called Food, Glorious Food. In this unit we're going to look at what your food is made up of, what you require food to do in your body, and we're also then going to have a look at the passage of food through your body and your digestive system. So this is what the booklet for this unit looks like. You should have that with you. As you can see on the front, we're going to be setting some homeworks as we go through. So what we're going to do today is just to start thinking about what is in your food and what the purpose of all of the different food groups is. The first page of your booklet, you will be able to see what you can see on the screen, which is the 4 circles covering the 4 areas of the new curriculum for Wales. So you can see on there how we're going to be looking at each of these areas in this unit and the activities you're going to be taking part in as you go through this unit, which will help you to become healthy, confident individuals, ethical, informed citizens, ambitious, capable learners, and enterprising, creative contributors. If you then turn to the next page in your booklet, which is page 3, we're going to get started with talking about why we need to eat food. There are 3 main reasons that you need to eat food. The first one of these is to give you energy. So on page 3 in your booklet, you need to be filling in this information as we go through it. So the first reason we need food is to give us energy. That energy keeps your body functioning, it keeps your heart beating and your brain working, making sure that we're able to do everything that we need to do. The second reason that you will need to eat food is to keep you healthy. So things like vitamins and minerals you need in very small amounts to keep your body healthy and make sure that everything is working inside you the way that it should. The third reason we need to eat food is to help us grow and repair our body. For you to grow, you need to make new cells. To make those new cells, you need to be provided with certain things in your diet to enable you to do that. And if any damage occurs to your body, you break a bone, you need to repair any damage that is caused. Okay, your first task now, as long as you've written those things down, at the bottom of page 3, you've got a star, and in that star you can see the words a balanced diet. This is going to be an opportunity now for you to think about what you already know about healthy eating and the food that we require, and sort of activate that prior knowledge that you already have. Okay, so if we look at the screen, it says to stay healthy we need to eat a balanced diet. In the box in your booklet, write down any prior knowledge you have about a balanced diet. You may be able to name some of the 7 food groups or say what each food group is used for. You may also be able to give examples of what may happen if you don't have a balanced diet. So what I'd like you to do now is to pause this video and just spend about 5 minutes just thinking about what you already know and filling it in on the diagram. Okay. Hopefully you've been able to come up with quite a bit of prior knowledge. You've probably studied healthy eating in primary school or maybe in some other subjects. So hopefully you've been able to fill in quite a bit of information on that box. Now, if we were doing this lesson in school, we'd now share that knowledge with a friend, but obviously you can't do that over the recorded lessons. So we're going to move on to the next activity. And that would be on page 4. So we're going to have a look now at the different food groups that you need to eat to get a balanced diet, and then you're going to have opportunity to fill this table in a little bit later on. So we're just going to go through each of the food groups, starting with carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are foods that include sugary foods and also starchy foods. So starchy foods would be things like the potatoes, bread, pasta, rice, and sugary foods like cakes, sugar and syrup. So carbohydrates are there to provide us with energy. So in your diet, you should be eating quite a lot of carbohydrate every day to give us the energy to survive. However, if you eat too much carbohydrate and you don't burn that energy off, it will be stored in the body as fat. Our second food group would be proteins. These are required in your body for growth and to make new cells and to repair any damaged tissue. You would find proteins in, as you can see in the picture, in things like meat, fish, eggs, milk, and also things like lentils and beans. So if someone is following a vegetarian or a vegan diet, they would probably be getting their protein from those types of things. Our third food group would be fats. Now, there are fats found in lots of different foods. Some are better for you than others, but we all need a supply of fat in our diets for various reasons. Fats are used as an energy store, so if your body can't get enough carbohydrate to provide you with energy, it will break down the fat to release the energy that it contains. We also use fats for insulation to keep our bodies warm, stop us losing too much heat. So fats would be found in things like margarine, oils, butter. You've got fat around the edge of meats. We've also got fats in things like avocados, nuts and seeds. So the fats that you find around the outside of things like meat tend to be saturated fats, whereas the unsaturated fats, which you'd find in things like oils, would be better for you and should make up more of your fat intake. The next group we're going to have a look at are vitamins. Now, the first three groups, the carbohydrates, the fats and the proteins, should be making up the bulk of your diet. The other food groups now, vitamins, we need in quite small amounts, but they are very important because they're required for chemical reactions in your body and they are keeping you healthy. Lots of different kinds of vitamins. Most are found within fresh fruit and vegetables, but also if you have breakfast cereal, you find that we add vitamins into those. Next food group would be the minerals. These are needed to make healthy blood, bones and other tissues. So for example, iron would be needed for your blood, calcium would be needed for your bones, and they are found in many different types of food depending on what mineral it is that you are thinking about. The next food group is fibre. Now this is slightly different. We don't digest fibre in our bodies, it just passes through, but what it does is to help keep everything moving through your digestive system. So if you don't get enough fibre in your diet, you may become constipated because the feces can't pass through your digestive system. So most of your feces or poo is made up of fibre. Find lots of fibre in things like bran flakes and Weetabix, celery, jacket potatoes, other vegetables would have lots of fibre in it. Our last food group, obviously not strictly a food, but it is one of the things that you need to have a balanced diet, is water, required by your body for chemical reactions and to transport substances around your body in your blood. About 75% of your body is made up of water. Okay, if you can now look at page 4 in your books, you have a copy of the table that you can see up on the board. Usually we would use laminated sheets and do a matching pairs activity, but what I'm going to do is to have the same thing up on the screen as a PowerPoint. So again, I'd like you now to pause the video and just spend a few minutes trying to work out where you would put each of these labels into the table. So you've got on the left hand side, you've got the names of the different food groups, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, etc. And then we have some labels to add on. In the middle column, you need to be trying to identify what each of the food groups does for you. In the last column then, what sort of foods do we find them in? Pause the video, have a go at writing these in, and then I will go through the answers when you come back. Okay, hopefully you had a go now at identifying for each of the food groups what they do for you and where you find them to fill that information in on your table. So I'm now going to tell you where each of these labels should go. You can check your answers and obviously make any amendments that you need to do. So for carbohydrates, we would have this label here. They give you energy. With regards to where you find them, you should have this label in place. So you find them in sugary and starchy foods like potatoes, pasta, rice, bread, cereals, and some fruit and vegetables. The next group then is the proteins. So that should be this label. They help your body grow and repair itself. Where do you find them? You find them in meats, poultry, fish, dairy products, eggs, and beans. Our next food group is the fats. They provide energy and help in building muscle. They are also needed to absorb some minerals. Right. For where do you find them? You find them in dairy products, red meats, some poultry and fish. Our next group then is fibre, so this prevents you from being constipated. You will find this in lots of foods like cereals, fruit, bread and vegetables. Minerals then, this would include these ones, so iron is good for your blood, calcium is good for your bones, magnesium is good for your nerves. These are mostly found in fresh fruit, vegetables and dairy products, so for example milk, eggs and butter. The last group then, the vitamins, these are good for keeping your body healthy, they are good for your skin, bones and teeth, and these are found in lots of foods but are especially in fresh fruit and vegetables. Okay, again, if you would like to pause the video, if you haven't had a chance to write all these down, you need to make any corrections to page 4. Okay, once you've finished that table, what I would like you to do now is to turn over to page 5 and use the information that we've just written down to answer these 5 questions. Okay, again, if you pause the video for a couple of minutes, answer the questions, and when you come back, we'll go through the answers. Right, we're just going to have a look at the answers then to these questions. So number 1, which 2 food groups give you energy? You should have fats and carbohydrates. Which food contains lots of carbohydrates would be, for example, pasta, bread, rice. Number 3, what are proteins used for? Growth and repair. Number 4, in which foods can you find vitamins? Fruit and vegetables would be your answer for that one. And then finally, number 5, in which food group would you find iron, calcium and magnesium? That would be in the minerals food group. The last thing then in this first lesson that I would like you to do is the homework that is on page 5. You can do that in the book, but I would also like you to complete the homework on study zones so that your teacher then will be able to see how many of these questions you've got correct. I'd also like you, in preparation for the 3rd lesson of this unit, to start collecting pictures of different foods. You may find some in magazines or leaflets, but you're going to need those in a couple of lessons' time to be able to complete the work.